The huge gate stood silently in the middle of the star system. It was not just any gate. It was a gateway to thousands of worlds, a doorway that the most powerful species in the galaxy controlled. They called it the Gate for many years. The gate stayed quiet, and no one dared to approach it without permission. The gate was theirs to command, but something was about to change. Far away from the gate, a small human scout ship flew carefully toward the glowing structure. Humans were new to this part of space. They did not have the power that the oldest alien empires had. But humans were curious and brave. The scout ship was called Horizon. It was fast and small, designed to explore unknown areas. Its mission was simple: to learn about the gate and find out if humans could use it. The alien watch stations near the gate noticed the Horizon ship on their sensors. The alien commanders gathered quickly. They had not expected humans to come so close. "This is dangerous," said one leader. "Humans do not understand the power they are near," another alien warned. "If they touch the gate, they may wake what should stay asleep." Inside the Horizon, the captain, a young woman named Sarah, looked at the gate with wide eyes. "We must be careful," she said to her crew. "This gate is older than any star we know. It is more than a machine. We don't know what it can do." The crew nodded quietly. The tension was strong. Everyone knew this was a moment that could change everything. As Horizon approached, the gate began to hum softly. The light around it grew brighter. Sarah felt a strange energy filling the ship. Suddenly, without warning, the gate started to open. A huge circle of shimmering energy appeared inside the frame. It was like a doorway to another world, but no one knew what waited on the other side. The aliens watching were shocked. "The gate is activating," one shouted. This has never happened without a command from the Council. The Council was the group that controlled the gate and all space travel through it. They never let anyone open the gate without their order. Sarah's voice was steady but full of awe. "We didn't do anything," she said. "The gate is opening by itself." The crew stared at the glowing doorway. The gate's energy seemed alive, moving like it had a mind of its own. Something deep inside the gate was waking up. Suddenly, a pulse of energy burst from the gate and shot out into space. It moved fast, like a wave spreading across the stars. The pulse was strange. It did not look like any signal the humans or aliens had seen before. It was cold and dark, but full of power. Back on the alien command ships, the officers tried to track the pulse. "It's moving toward the outer galaxy," said one. "That area has been quiet for centuries." "Why would this pulse go there now?" Another officer frowned. "It feels like something ancient is waking up." Sarah and her crew watched the gate carefully. The pulse was gone, but the gate still glowed softly. Then the ship's sensors picked up a new signal. It was a message, but the message was not in any alien language. It was in human language. Simple words appeared on their screens. "Stop. Do not open the gate." The crew was shocked. "Who sent this?" asked Sarah. "There is no other human ship this far. We are alone here," the message repeated twice more. The words were clear and urgent. The aliens were alarmed when they heard about the message. "This means the gate is dangerous," said one. "Someone or something is trying to warn us all." The council called for an emergency meeting. Leaders from many species gathered to discuss the threat. Meanwhile, strange things started to happen near the gate. Space storms appeared out of nowhere. Ships reported strange shadows moving just beyond their sensors. The ancient power inside the gate seemed to be growing stronger. Sarah knew they had triggered something bigger than themselves. "We did not come here to fight," she said. "We want to understand, but this power is older than any of us. We must be ready for what comes next." As the meeting continued, the council decided to send a special team to investigate the gate. Closely, they would try to find the source of the pulse and understand what had awakened. Sarah hoped humans would be part of this team. The humans and aliens prepared their ships for the journey. The gate's light continued to glow brighter each day. No one could guess what was waiting beyond the shimmering doorway. At night, Sarah stood on the Horizon's observation deck. She looked at the gate and wondered what secrets it held. She thought about the message in her language and the warning it gave. Was it from a friend or an enemy? Suddenly, the stars near the gate flickered and changed color. The energy pulse returned, stronger and closer. It was a sign that the sleeping power was not resting anymore. Sarah's voice was calm but firm. Face a choice now. Do we close the gate and forget what we found? Or do we open it fully and face the unknown? The crew looked at her, knowing the answer would change the future of humans and the galaxy forever. The gate was theirs to command no longer. The sleeping power had awoke, and the story had just begun. The galaxy was buzzing with fear and confusion. After the strange pulse came from the gate, every star system nearby felt its effects. Aliens across many planets watched the skies nervously. They knew something was wrong, but no one knew what exactly. The pulse was silent, but its power was growing. At the Great Council Hall, leaders of the strongest alien races gathered in a large room filled with glowing maps and strange machines. The council had ruled the gate for centuries, keeping its secrets safe. Now, they were unsure if the gate was still under their control. A tall alien named Velker spoke loudly. His pulse is not natural, carries the mark of something ancient. We must act before it spreads further. Others nodded in agreement, but a few were afraid. They feared the unknown power might destroy everything they had built. Meanwhile, on the human ship Horizon, Captain Sarah and her crew tried to understand the warning message they had received. The words, "Stop, do not open the gate," played. In their minds, who had sent it? Is it a trap or a real warning? Sarah looked at her science officer, Yolan. "We need to find out where that message came from," she said. "If it is real, it could save us all." Yolan worked quickly on the ship's sensors, scanning for any source. After hours of searching, they found a faint signal far beyond the edge of known space. Sarah made a decision. "We will follow the signal," she said. It may be our only chance to understand what is happening." Back on the alien command ships, tension grew. The first ship sent to chase the pulse vanished without a trace. No distress signals, no wreckage, just silence. Panic spread quickly. Some leaders wanted to destroy the gate immediately to stop the threat. Others argued that destroying it could cause even worse damage. The council was divided. Suddenly, the strange pulse started to affect nearby planets. Temperatures dropped, communications failed, and strange shadows moved through space. Ships reported seeing ghostly figures near the gate, creatures no one could explain. Sarah and her crew felt the changes too. The Horizon systems flickered, and strange voices whispered through the ship's communication channels. Sometimes the crew saw flashes of light that no one else could see. One night, while Sarah was resting, a deep voice echoed in her mind. It was calm but powerful. "You awakened me. Now you must choose." Sarah woke up with a start. She told her crew, but none of them heard the voice. Was it a warning or a threat? At the council, the aliens watched the stars as the pulse moved slowly toward the outer galaxy. They wondered what lay there. The outer galaxy had been a quiet place for centuries, full of forgotten planets and old ruins. Now it seemed the pulse was searching for something hidden. Velker said this power is looking for a way back to life. If it finds what it wants, we all may face destruction. The council agreed to send a team to investigate the pulse's path. They asked humans to join, hoping their curiosity and bravery could help. Sarah's ship joined the fleet. Together, humans and aliens prepared to face the unknown power. They all felt the weight of the coming danger. The gate continued to glow. Pulsing with energy, it was no longer just a machine. It was alive in some way, waiting. Sarah stood on the Horizon's deck again, looking at the gate. The stars shimmered strangely around it. The warning message played again in her mind. "Stop. Do not open the gate." But the gate was already open. The sleeping power was awake. The real test was only beginning. The ancient power inside the gate was no longer hidden. It showed itself slowly, like a shadow rising from deep space. The humans and aliens watching felt a strange mix of fear and awe. This power was unlike anything they had seen. It was not just a force or a weapon. It was a living intelligence, older than the stars themselves. Captain Sarah studied the strange readings on her ship. The power seemed to think and feel. It reacted to their presence but did not attack immediately. Instead, it sent signals images. sounds, and strange thoughts directly into their minds. One night, Sarah woke up to a vision. She saw a galaxy long ago, before the rise of any civilization. The power told her a story. It said it had created life in the galaxy, but was trapped and forgotten by time. Now, it wanted freedom. The aliens in the council were divided. Some believed the power was a god, others thought it was a dangerous monster. They argued whether to try to communicate with it or destroy it before it grew stronger. Meanwhile, humans tried to send messages back to the power. They used simple words and pictures, hoping to show they came in peace. The power answered by opening a small portal inside the gate. Through this portal, strange creatures appeared. They were unlike any known life form, beautiful but terrifying. The creatures moved slowly, watching the humans and aliens carefully. They did not attack, but their presence was a warning. The gate was not just a door. It was a prison holding something alive and powerful. Tensions rose. Some alien leaders wanted to attack the gate and destroy everything inside. Humans warned that this could release the power and cause chaos. Sarah said, "We must find a way to calm it. War will only make things worse," while talks continued. Strange storms appeared near the gate. These storms disrupted communications and damaged ships. The power inside the gate was growing restless. One day a message came through the gate's energy field. It was in a language no one knew. The message said, "You have disturbed my rest. Prepare for judgment." Fear spread quickly. The council ordered all ships to stay away from the gate. Humans prepared for the worst, but did not give up hope. Sarah and her crew worked day and night to understand the power. They believed it could be reasoned with. The ancient intelligence wanted to be free, but feared destruction. Suddenly, the gate's energy flared brightly. The portal opened wider. The creatures from inside stepped forward. They spoke in a strange voice. "We are the guardians of the ancient power. You must prove your worth or be destroyed." Sarah felt the weight of their words. The gate was no longer just a tool. It was a test. If humans and aliens failed, the galaxy could be lost. She looked at her crew and said, "This is bigger than any war we fought. This is a chance to change everything. We must be brave and smart." The ancient power watched silently, waiting. For the next move, the fate of the galaxy hung in balance. The Great Council was breaking apart. Fear and anger spread fast like wildfire. The strange power from the gate had shaken the galaxy's strongest alliances. Old friends started to doubt each other, and old enemies began to prepare for war. Trust was breaking. Sarah watched the news. Feeds from different planets. Some leaders blamed humans for waking the ancient power. Others thought the aliens were hiding secrets. The council's talks became louder and more angry. Words like attack, war, and betrayal filled the air. In the middle of this chaos, a terrible event shocked everyone. The leader of one powerful alien race was killed suddenly. No one saw how it happened. The attackers vanished. Without a trace, the whole galaxy whispered one name: humans. People believed it was a warning, a message, or a strike to start a bigger fight. Sarah felt the weight of the blame on her shoulders. "We did not kill anyone," she said. "We must prepare. This is not just politics anymore. This is war." The gate began to change. Its glowing circle twisted and shifted. Strange shapes appeared on its surface like cracks of light. The creatures inside stirred. Their forms grew clearer, more real. They moved closer to the gate's edge as if preparing to step out. Fear grew across all species. Ships were placed on high alert. Borders were closed. Soldiers trained for battle. The galaxy was readying for destruction. Sarah's crew worked harder than ever. They studied the gate and its creatures. They tried to find a way to stop the growing threat, but each discovery brought more questions. One day the gate pulsed with energy and a loud sound echoed through space. It was a call, a signal to all nearby ships. The creatures were sending a message. No one understood the words, but the feeling was clear. Danger was near. Sarah stood on the bridge of horizon and said, "We face a test we cannot ignore. The gate is alive and it wants something from us. We must find out what before it's too late." Her crew nodded, knowing that their mission had become a fight for survival. The gate was no longer just a mystery. It was a threat. And the galaxy was on the edge of war. The galaxy's calm vanished as secret battles began in the shadows. While leaders argued openly, hidden forces moved quietly. Humans and some alien allies formed a secret group to find the truth about the gate and the power inside. They knew open war would destroy many lives before answers came. Sarah was chosen to lead a small team. Their mission was to explore the strange effects of the gate and stop any dangers before they spread. They moved through dark space, avoiding patrols and spying on suspicious ships. Strange things kept happening. Planets near the gate changed suddenly. Forests turned black, oceans boiled, and skies cracked with unknown storms. Some planets became death zones, with life disappearing overnight. Scientists called it the gate sickness. Sarah's team found that the gate's power was spreading like a virus. It changed matter, energy, and even minds. Some crew members began to feel strange thoughts and fears they could not explain. Meanwhile, a powerful alien faction revealed their secret weapon. It was a massive starship designed to destroy the gate with a single shot. This weapon was called the Hammer of Stars. Its firepower could end the ancient power quickly or cause a disaster no one could control. The council was divided. Again, some wanted to use the Hammer of Stars immediately. Others warned it might break the gate and release even worse dangers. Sarah argued, "We don't understand the gate yet. Destroying it blindly is too risky. We need more time and knowledge." Suddenly, the gate sent out a final warning pulse. It was a loud, powerful signal that echoed across the galaxy. The pulse felt like a shout, full of anger and warning. The gate then went quiet. Its light dimmed, and the doorway closed slowly. No one knew how long it would stay closed or what would happen when it opened again. Sarah and her team prepared for what was next. The silent gate was still dangerous. They could only wait and hope they had made the right choices. The galaxy held its breath. The sleeping power had paused, but it was far from gone. The gate did not sleep any longer. Its light grew hotter and wider. The circle opened like a mouth. Aside, darkness moved with purpose. The sleeping power rose like a shadow that became a shape. It pushed out through the gate and into space. Ships, alarms screamed on the horizon and on alien bridges. The power touched metal and turned it strange. Hulls groaned. Engines shuddered. Crews felt cold and clear thoughts leave their minds. Fear spread faster than any message. Sarah pulled her coat tight and stood on the bridge. Her hands did not shake. She felt the weight of every life on the horizon. Around them, the fleet tried to hold formation. But the new force bent space like wind bends trees. Small ships broke apart without a sound. Bigger ships lost power and drifted like dead moons. The ancient intelligence spoke not in words, but in feeling. Every mind near the gate heard it the same way, an order that warmed like fire and cut like ice. Choose, the feeling said. Join or vanish. Some ships answered with weapons. They fired great beams into the gate. The beams tore the open space, but the power drew strength from the shots. Each attack fed it. The more they tried to hurt it, the more it spread. Others tried to run. They fled toward the edges of known space. The power chased them with long tendrils of light. These tendrils wrapped worlds and changed them. Oceans steamed. Cities fell away into silence. People disappeared in the blink of an eye. Survivors said they saw faces in the light, faces from old dreams and old fears. Inside the gate, the world was strange. Sarah later remembered only pieces. Forests that hummed like wires. Rivers that flowed backward, and statues that watched without eyes. Her team found thoughts trapped inside this place, old memories of lives that never were. The gate kept what it had shaped once. It wanted to shape again. At the council, leaders argued until voices broke. Old enemies spoke quietly now. "We must join," said one with a cracked tone. "If we are part of this power, we may survive." Another leader spat. "You would sell us to a monster." The words fell like stones into the quiet that followed each strike from the gate. On horizon, Yalin worked the science station until his face was thin with tiredness. He found a small signal that the power accepted. It was not a weakness, but a choice. The ancient intelligence offered a way to merge with it. It promised knowledge beyond measure, promised to erase pain and keep life in a new form. Oh, but it would not be the same life. Those who chose would lose their bodies and they would become a part of the gate's mind. Sarah thought about the message. They had first received, "Stop, do not open the gate." Now she understood why someone had warned them. They had not warned because the gate was evil. They warned because the gate asked a question no free being should answer without knowing the cost. Across the fleet, small groups began to change. Some crews went silent and floated toward the light. Their faces were calm. They reached for the tendrils and dissolved into stars. Others fought harder, screaming into the void. The battle was not only in space, it was inside minds and hearts. Sarah chose the hardest course. She would not let the gate take them by force. She would not let them give themselves away without a fight. She organized a mission to go through the gate into the heart of the rising power. The plan was wild and risky. It might end everything. It might also end the gate itself. As the horizon moved closer, the light of the gate folded like a living curtain. Voice clear and old touched Sarah's mind. It did not promise mercy. It did not threaten only death. Offered a simple, "Truth, I have waited. Now decide." Sarah closed her eyes and leaned forward. The choice had come. The galaxy held its breath. They called it the last chance. The fleet had been broken and scared. Many ships were gone. Cities had fallen. The gate had grown in power and reach. Now only a small group stood between the sleeping power and the rest of the galaxy. They would make one final attempt to end the threat from inside the gate or die trying. Sarah stood on Horizon's bridge and watched the stars blink like tired eyes. Her face was quiet. She had no fear in her voice, only a hard calm. "We go in." She told her crew, "We will take the key. We will close the gate. We stop this." The word key had made everyone look twice. No one was sure what the key really was. Some thought it was a machine. Others believed it was a song, an idea, or a person. The truth was worse and simpler. The key was a choice, a life given to the gate to hold it still. A small fleet gathered. For the last run, old enemies sailed beside humans. They flew in tight formation, slow and careful. The hammer of stars waited behind them, weapons hot and ready. No one wanted to fire it. They feared it would kill them all. But if the mission failed, the hammer stood ready as a terrible last answer. Inside Horizon. Sarah walked the ship like a captain moves through a storm. She checked faces, held hands, and gave orders. Her crew was small now. Many had left or been taken. The ones who stayed were tired but steady. They believed in her. They believed in the small chance of stopping the gate. The plan had 3 parts. First, a strike team would fly through the gate to find the heart of the ancient power. Second, they would place the device, a fragile machine made from old gate metal and human code, at the center. This device would not destroy the power. It would bind it, slow it, and make it sleep again. Third, someone would stay to activate the device from inside. The device needed a mind, a living anchor, someone who could give up their body and hold. The ancient mind, like a hand, holds a rope. Without that living anchor, the device would fail. No one wanted that last part. Volunteers came forward anyway. Some said it would be an honor to die for all. Others wanted to be remembered as heroes. Sarah watched them and felt a quiet pain. She thought of the warning that first reached her ship. "Stop. Do not open the gate." Now the choice was not to stop alone, but to choose who would answer. For many, an old pilot named Ree stepped forward. He had one arm and a slow laugh. "I know the look of empty space," he said. "I am ready." His eyes shone with tired pride. Others argued, saying young people should not die for the old. The Hammer of Stars captain offered himself. He had nowhere left to go. The list grew until Sarah understood the truth. If they let the gate choose, It would take anyone who was weak. They needed to decide together. At dawn, the fleet moved in. The gate loomed like a dark sun. Light spilled around it in slow waves. As ships crossed the threshold, the world changed. Time felt thick. Sounds were odd. Memories began to leak from the walls, childhood mornings, lost faces, songs that had been forgotten. The gate pulled at their minds as if it wanted them to forget why they were there. Inside, the gate's world was not empty. It was a place of memories and mirrors. The strike team moved through halls that seemed alive. Statues watched with blank stone eyes. Rivers of light ran uphill. The device hummed in their hold like a sleeping bird. It looked small and fragile in such a world. They found the heart at last, a vast chamber where the ancient power gathered like smoke. The chamber had no floor, only falling stars that never reached ground. In the middle, a shape waited. It was like a face, and not a face. It spoke with a voice that was not a voice. It offered promises that shimmered, end to hunger, end to pain. The breath of small gods. Sarah felt the promise and answered with a memory of earth rain and a small laugh. She raised the device into the light. The machine began to sing. Its sound was thin and sharp, like a key turning. The ancient power reacted. The world shook. The tendrils they had seen in space reached inward, curious and hungry. Then the hardest part came. The machine needed a living mind to thread through its code. Someone had to become the anchor. Right. Stepped forward. He smiled once, slow and brave, and placed his hand on the device. The device opened like a flower. It took him inside, but he did not cry. He only said, "Keep going." Sarah felt the world try to pull him back. The voice asked him questions in 1,000 old tongues. It promised him a path to every lost thing. He answered with a small, sharp truth, not at the cost of everything else. He let the gate take him. With Ree's mind inside, the machine burned bright. The ancient power tried to pull back, to twist Ree like water through a net. For a long minute, long as a life, the device screamed with light. Ships above felt the tremor. Hammer of Stars captain moved his finger to the trigger. His hand shook. Then the machine did something no one had fully expected. It did not kill the power. It wrapped it in a sleep that was not death, but slow dreaming. The gate's reach shrank. The tendrils withdrew. The world inside the gate calmed. Like a lake after wind, Ree's voice, inside the device, whispered one last thing. Remember. The fleet cheered, but it was a small sound. Victory had a cost. Ree would be a voice in a machine forever. He would watch and warn, and he would never breathe again in open air. The device had worked, but it needed care. Someone had to remain near the gate to keep the sleep steady. The council argued that a guard should be left. Sarah knew the real truth. The guard had to be willing, not ordered. The choice had to be free. As they prepared to leave, the gate shifted like a living thing waking. For a heartbeat, a new, softer pulse ran through space. It was a warning and a promise. The ancient power had been slowed, not killed. It would sleep while the device held it. But it would wake again if the device failed, or if greed or fear pushed the wrong button. Sarah looked at the stars one last time before they left the gate zone. She thought of Ree and the sound of his laugh. She thought of the whisper that reached her in the first nights. You awakened me. Now you must choose. They had chosen. They had paid. The galaxy was alive, but it was not safe. Behind them, the gate settled into a dim glow. It kept one small light alive at its center, a sign that something watched and remembered. In the council halls, leaders argued over laws and guards. Some shouted for punishment. Others cried for peace. But in quiet corners, people lit small candles. They remembered those who gave all. The last stand had ended, but the story was not over. The choice they had made would shape the years to come. A sleeping power, bound but not broken, voice inside a machine, ready to watch. A galaxy that learned how close it came to losing itself. Sarah closed her eyes and whispered, "We will keep watch. We will learn." She did not know if the gate would sleep forever. She only knew this night had changed everything. The battle had ended, but the galaxy was not the same. The gate stood quiet once more, its great circle dimmed to a soft glow. Then the ancient power inside now slept, bound by the sacrifice of the living anchor. Yet a new dawn rose filled. With hope and heavy with questions, Sarah and her crew returned to their home world. The people greeted them with cheers and tears. Stories of courage and sacrifice spread across planets. Ree's name became a legend, the man who became the key to save billions, but peace was fragile. The council met again, this time not to fight, but to decide the galaxy's future. New rules were made to guard the gate. Now, no one species could control it alone. It would belong to all or none. Yet deep inside the gates, something waited. The small light from the device pulsed quietly, a reminder that the ancient power was not gone. It was only sleeping, watching, and learning. Sarah stood once more on the horizon's observation deck. She looked at the stars and thought about what came next. New alliances formed. Old enemies talked of peace. The galaxy was changing fast. But it remembered the night when a sleeping power awoke and when humanity chose to face it. Suddenly, distant sensors caught a faint signal from beyond known space. It was not the same as before. This one was different, calm, almost like a call. Sarah smiled softly. "The gate is still alive," she said, "and so is the story." The new dawn had begun. The galaxy was wide, full of mysteries and dangers, but it was also full of hope, and humanity was ready.